So today I'm going to discuss with you about the Arabinose operon, also known as the ARA operon. So let's get started now. So about the L Arabinose operon, what it says, let us discuss. Well, I have my two videos related with the lactose operon and the TRP operon. Just go and search that videos. Now, one more extra operon, which is a type of regulation done by the prokaryotic of organisms, is your L-arabinose operon. So, this L-arabinose operon, also called as ARA operon, or also known as ARA BAD operon. You can say ARA bad operon. Well, they are not bad because the name has been given in such a way because they have three structural genes known as ARA B, ARA A, and ARA D, collectively called as ARA bad operon. So, this ARA operon is required for the breakdown of 5 carbon sugar called L-arabinose in E. coli. So why this ARA operon is being made here? Just like lactose operon, we break down the lactose sugar. In ARA operon, we break this arabinose sugar with the help of the three structural genes called ARA B, ARA A, and ARA D. Collectively, these three genes are called as ARA-BAD genes. Now, these in ARA operon or L-arabinose operon, it has these three genes. Okay. Now, these ARA-BAD genes encode for three enzymes. They encode for three metabolic enzymes which are required for metabolism of your arabinose sugar. So the L-arabinose operon, it contains these genes which codes for three metabolic enzymes. ARA-B codes for some enzyme, ARA-A codes for some enzyme, and ARA-D codes for another enzyme, which are required for your metabolism of this arabinose sugar. Well, we all know that metabolism is what? Metabolism is a set of life sustaining chemical reactions in organisms, right? And the main purpose of all the metabolisms that we have studied till now from our class 9, we have studied metabolisms like glycolysis, Krebs cycle, electron transport chain, glucogenolysis, glucogenosis, different types of pathway we have studied. So this main purpose of metabolism is what? Conversion of food to energy so that we can run all our cellular process, all the cellular process like replication, transcription, translation, we can able to do it. Okay, by metabolism. Then conversion of food or fuel to make building blocks for the synthesis of protein, lipids, nucleic acids, and some carbohydrates, and also to eliminate the waste product that arises during your metabolic reactions. So that's why we need metabolism. We have to go for this metabolism. Metabolism is a series of reactions which are involved in our living system. Okay, so these ARA-BAD genes, they code for metabolic enzymes. They code for metabolic enzymes which are required for the metabolism of arabinose sugar. Okay, which is a 5 carbon. It is a 5 carbon sugar, this arabinose sugar. Okay, now let us see the name of those enzymes coded by these ARA genes. ARA B. ARA B codes for ribonucleokinase. ARA B codes for ribonucleokinase ARA A. This gene codes for an isomerase, and ARA D, it codes for an epimerase enzyme. So ARA B, it encodes an enzyme having ribonucleokinase activity. ARA A, it codes for an isomerase enzyme, and ARA D, it codes for epimerase. So these three genes encode these three types of enzymes produced by these genes that will catalyze the conversion of your arabinose sugar to form an intermediate product of the pentose phosphate pathway called D-xylulose 5-phosphate. So what it means to say? It means to say that these three genes that we are talking about, they code for these enzymes. They code for these enzymes produced by these three genes, and these three enzymes, ribonucleokinase coded by ARAB, isomerase, type of isomerase, full name has not been written here, code by ARA-A, and an epimerase enzyme code by ARA-B. These three enzymes will catalyze the conversion of L-arabinose to form this product, D-xylulose 5-phosphate. Now this D-xylulose 5-phosphate is the intermediate product. It is a intermediate product of the pentose phosphate pathway. So simple talking about this ARA B, ARA A, ARA D encodes enzymes which catalyze conversion of arabinose to D-xylulose 5-phosphate, and this D-xylulose 5-phosphate is an intermediate product of your pentose phosphate pathway. Okay, now the structural genes of the L-arabinose operon are transcribed from a common promoter, just like LAC-Z, LAC-Y, LAC-A, they have a common promoter. Here also the arabinose operon structural genes have only one common promoter and form a single mRNA from them, and that mRNA will be further translated to form three different proteins. Well, you know what is a promoter, still I am discussing the promoter a little bit. Promoter is a sequence of DNA to which proteins will bind and initiate your transcription process of a single RNA from the DNA downstream of it. So promoter consists of specific DNA sequence like response elements, which will provide a binding site for your RNA polymerase, and also for the proteins called transcription factors that will recruit the RNA polymerase to bind to the promoter. So the structural genes that we are talking about for the arabinose operon, they are transcribed from a common promoter. That means, so this is the structural gene. So there is one common promoter written as P, and there are right next to each other the three genes are right placed to each other, coding for ARA, coding for ARA B, ARA A, and ARA D. And these are transcribed and have a common promoter where RNA polymers will bind and carry out the transcription process. And a single mRNA will be formed, and that mRNA contain the transcript of all these ARA B, ARA A, ARA D genes, which will be further translated to form three different enzyme products. Right? Okay. Now, what it has been said in the next page, that the expression of the L. arabinose operon, the expression of the L. arabinose operon is actually controlled by the product of regulatory gene called ARA-C. So there is one more extra gene found in the arabinose operon called ARA-C, and that ARA-C encodes, it is a regulatory gene. Okay, that means it will produce a regulatory protein product. And and another regulation that is done to the ARA operon is your the same thing that we have seen in lac operon, the catabolite activator protein cyclic AMP complex. So in two ways, your expression of the L. arabinose operon can be controlled. One is by the regulatory protein, and that regulatory protein is coded by ARA-C, and there is another protein called catabolite activator protein, which combines with the cyclic AMP to form a complex which will regulate your expression of your L. arabinose operon. In our lac operon, we have seen that this catabolite activator protein combines with cyclic AMP and binds to the promoter, which allows the RNA polymerase to initiate the transcription process. But here let us see what does this cap-camp complex do. Let us see. More to go. So the regulator protein known as ARA-C, which comes from the ARA-C gene, it is very sensitive to the level of arabinose and plays a dual role as both an activator in the presence of arabinose and a repressor in the absence of arabinose to regulate the expression of ARA-BAD genes. So this ARA-C, what I am talking about, it is very sensitive to the level of arabinose. It plays a dual role. ARA-C can act as a activator in the presence of arabinose. It will catalyze so that the ARA-B, ARA-A, ARA-D genes can be transcribed immediately and utilize the arabinose sugar to form your what we call as D-xylulose 5-phosphate, which is an intermediate product of your pentose phosphate pathway. This same ARA-C will act as a repressor. It will inhibit, it will repress the transcription of ARA-BAD genes in the absence of arabinose. Because if there is no arabinose, why we will produce these protein products? Because these protein products, ARA-B, ARA-C, ARA-B, ARA-A and ARA-D gene product only deals with utilization of arabinose. So if there is no arabinose, so we will, or if there is less arabinose present, then we will less transcribe those gene products, the products of the ARA operon. Okay, so it is acting as an activator and also as a repressor. Well, I have give definition of activator and repressor. Well, activator, also called as transcriptional activator, it is a protein that increases the transcription of a gene or set of genes. So activator is a protein that increases the transcription of a gene or a set of genes in case of prokaryotes, because prokaryotic genes are located right next to each other and forming a same mRNA. That mRNA will codes for that enzymes. So it will activate the transcription process. Activators are considered to have positive control over gene expression as they function to promote gene transcription. So activators simply what they do, they allow the RNA polymerase to carry on the transcription process of the related genes, of that genes which are need to be transcribed now, because there is less in order to do that metabolic function. Like here the ara C, here the ara C, as we have talked, that ARA-C acts as a activator and as well as repressor. So if there is presence of arabinose, we have to utilize that arabinose, and for that we need the products of ARA-B, ARA-A, ARA-D genes. So at that time ARA-C comes into play. ARA-C then acts as a transcriptional activator at that time. While in the absence of arabinose, or in the in a very few concentration of arabinose, what does ara-C do? That time ara-C will act as a repressor. It will inhibit the transcription process, because we don't need now of that genes which will deal with arabinose, because arabinose sugar is not present, or it is present in a very few quantity. The same way, what is repressor? It has been said here, repressor is a DNA or RNA binding protein which will inhibit the expression of one or more genes. How? By binding to the operator or associated silencers. So there are some gene sequence called silencer, there are some sequence called operators, just like we have seen in lac operon also. In that case, this repressor, what they do, they bind to that particular operator or silencer, associated silencer regions, to stop transcribing that particular set of genes, right? Okay, you know about the operator is acting as a on off switch. So operator is a segment of DNA to which a repressor binds. Okay, and normally, what does repressor do? Repressor blocks the attachment of RNA polymerase to the promoter. Normally, here ARA-C acts as a repressor, as I have mentioned little bit ago. Repressor is preventing the transcription. How it is preventing the transcription? By blocking the attachment of RNA polymerase to the promoter. Okay, it blocks the attachment of RNA polymerase to the promoter. Okay, so no mRNA will be formed. Okay, this ARA-C protein, it is a regulatory protein, as I have said, and this ARA-C protein is very sensitive to it is very sensitive to arabinose sugar. It is very sensitive to arabinose sugar. So it not only control the expression of ARA-BAD, but it also regulates it auto regulates its own expression at high ARA-C levels. So what does it mean? Simply it says that ARA-C is a regulatory protein. It is very sensitive to arabinose, and it controls the expression of ARA-BAD genes. It control the expression of ARA-BAD genes, and it also auto-regulate itself. It also auto-regulate itself for its own expression at high ARA-C levels. Means at high concentration of ARA-C protein, it regulates itself. It will stop synthesizing ARA-C protein. So that this is the occurrence. This is how auto-regulation occurs. So it regulates its own expression, ARA-C. Okay. So ARA-C plays an important role. It auto-regulates itself. Secondly, it also control the ARA-BAD genes, okay, by activating and so by repressing. So it perform many functions. Now it is saying that L-arabinose operon is composed of structural genes and also regulatory regions. There are regulatory regions like operator regions, which are denoted by ARA O1 and ARA O2. Here it is written ARA O1 and ARA O2. These are the operator regions. These are the operator regions, ARA O1 and ARA O2. There are inhibitor regions as well, like ARA I1 and ARA I2. Okay, sorry, not inhibitor, it is written initiator. So there are initiator region which will initiate the transcription process, ARA I1 and ARA I2. So other than the structural genes ARA B, ARA A, ARA D, and also other than this regulatory segment of the ARA operon called ARA C, there is also other regulatory regions like the operator regions, ARA O1 and ARA O2. There are initiator regions coded by ARA I1 and ARA I2. And the structural genes which I have talked you just now, ARA B, ARA A, ARA D, they code for enzymes. Like I have said before that ARA B codes for ARA B uh, ARA B codes for ribokinase enzyme which phosphorylate. Then ARA A codes for an isomerase enzyme, whereas ARA D codes for an epimerase enzyme, which is required for this L-arabinose catabolism, because here we are actually degrading, not degrading, better to say we are actually cutting, or you can say we are actually cleaving the L-arabinose to form an intermediate product called D-xylulose 5-phosphate, which is an intermediate of the pentose phosphate pathway. Let's move to the next page. Well, after this page, we have that figure for that arabinose operon. There is also a cap binding site where cap camp complex bind and facilitates the catabolite repressure and result in positive regulation of ARA-BAD when the cell is starved of glucose. So there is also a catabolite binding protein, there is also a catabolite activator protein binding site. In this catabolite activating protein binding site, your catabolite activating protein cyclic AMP complex bind and facilitates catabolite repression. So there is a site in the ARA operon known as catabolite activating gene binding site, where this cap camp complex bind and facilitates your catabolite repression and results in positive regulation of the ARA operon when the cell is starved of glucose. Well, you have noted about the catabolite activator protein in lac operon. This catabolite activator protein combines with cyclic AMP to form camp complex, which binds to the promoter region and allows the RNA polymerase to carry out the transcription process of the lac operon genes called LAC-Z, LAC-Y, LAC-A. The cyclic AMP was actually inhibited by the glucose. Well, you have studied in that chapter, because glucose, what it does, glucose inhibits the activity of adenylate cyclase. Adenylate cyclase normally convert the ATP to cyclic AMP. It convert the formation of ATP to cyclic AMP, and as glucose is inhibiting the activity of adenylyl cyclase, that's why cyclic AMP is not formed and the cap camp complex is also not formed. So here also, if there is starved of glucose, starved means if there is no glucose, then what happen, this cap camp complex can occur and bind to this cap binding site and allows the catabolite repression of the arabinose operon. Okay, so let us see what it is written. More thing has been written about the cap. Catabolite gene activator protein, also called cyclic AMP receptor protein. This cap or catabolite activating protein is a transactin transcriptional activator which exists as homodimer in solution. That means it is a homodimer in solution. Now, each subunit of cap is composed of a ligand binding domain at the N terminus, which is your amino terminus, and a DNA binding domain at the C terminus. So, cyclic this catabolite activator protein, it is a transcriptional activator protein. It activates your transcription process when there is depletion of glucose. And this cap or catabolite activator protein, there is a two site. Okay, there is two site, but before that I want to say that it is a homodimer. It is made up of two similar subunits. It is made up of two similar subunits. It is made up of two similar subunits. That's why I said homodimer. And each subunit of cap consists of a ligand binding domain. It consists of a ligand binding domain and a DNA binding domain. Okay, and DNA binding domain. The ligand binding domain of the each subunit of cap located at the amino terminal end, while the DNA binding domain is located on the C terminus end of the cap. Okay, and each subunit have these two domains, both ligand binding domain and DNA binding domain, and they are homodimer. That means they are made up of two similar subunits. Now it is written here that two cyclic AMP molecules bind to this dimeric cap. Now in simple diagram, what we have shown a triangular cap, and where the cyclic AMP binds, okay, and becomes cap camp complex, as I have shown in the diagram in the lac operon, right? But actually, if I say this cap or catabolite activator protein, it is a dimer, it is a homodimer made up of two subunits, and it has two sites. One is DNA binding domain and ligand binding domain, and each of these subunit bind to cyclic AMP. So there are about two cyclic AMP which will bind to this dimeric cap. So each of the subunits of the cap will bind to cyclic AMP. So total two cyclic AMP are needed to bind to this catabolite activator protein. This cyclic AMP acts as a allosteric effector for allosteric effector by increasing the cap's activity and affinity for the DNA. So cyclic AMP is here acting as a effector molecule which allows the affinity for the catabolite activated protein to bind with the DNA. So the cyclic AMP actually increases the affinity for increase the affinity of CAP, that is catabolite activated protein, for the DNA. CAP binds to a DNA region upstream, that is towards the 5' end from the starting point of transcription from the DNA binding site of RNA polymerase. So, where if I say exact location of the CAP, as I have not said during the lack operon, this catabolite activated protein actually binds to the DNA on the upstream. So it binds to the DNA on the upstream, that is towards the 5' end from the starting point of the transcription from the DNA binding site of RNA polymerase. So exactly not at the promoter but at the upstream. Okay, that means just before that starting point of transcription, there this catabolite activator protein binds. Okay, so more to go about the arabinose operon. So it is saying that the regulatory gene, which is called ARAC, I have said lot of about ARAC, that it is a regulatory protein. It is very sensitive to the level of arabinose. It plays a dual role. That means this ARAC can act as activator in the presence of arabinose, and it also acts as a repressor for the arabinose operon in the absence of arabinose. And I have also said that this ARAC protein not only control the expression of the ARA-BAD genes, but it also auto-regulates its own expression, right? So this ARA-C gene, when you will look the structure, it is located upstream of the L-arabinose operon and encodes the arabinose responsive regulatory protein called ARA-C. So the actual name of the ARA-C protein product is your arabinose responsive regulatory protein. Arabinose responsive regulatory protein. This protein is the product of the ARA-C gene, and this protein is actually regulating your arabinose operon. Both ARA-C and ARA-BAD have a discrete promoter where RNA polymerase bind and initiates transcription. So both ARA-C as well as ARA-BAD, which are the structural genes which will deal with arabinose, and ARA-C, which will regulate the expression of the ARA-BAD genes. Both of these two gene segments have a discrete promoter, different promoter, where RNA polymerase will bind and initiate your transcription process. Okay, so it has different promoter, as you will see in the figure that I have drawn right in the next page. And of ARA-C, it has its own promoter, and ARA-BAD, it also has its own promoter. Okay, now ARA-BAD and ARA-C are transcribed in opposite directions. Well, it looks like peculiar, but it's true. ARA-BAD and ARA-C are not transcribed in the same direction. They are transcribed in opposite direction from the ARA-BAD promoter. So the promoter of the ARA-BAD is the site where you can see the ARA-BAD or the ARA-BAD genes are transcribed, and ARA-C gene is also transcribed but in opposite direction. Okay, and ARA-C promoter respectively. Well, there are two promoters, there are two discrete promoters, as I have mentioned that little bit ago. ARA-C has its own promoter known as ARA-C promoter, written as PC. P for promoter, for what? For ARA-C operon, not operon, ARA-C gene. And ARA BAD promoter. This promoter is for ARA BAD. Okay, so two different promoters are there, but the strange thing is that ARA BAD and ARA C are transcribed in opposite directions. Okay, so let us see the image now. What I was talking about now. I have the image is so much large that it cannot fit in that way, so I have to go in a horizontal view, so I have to rotate my screen so that I can able to discuss with very clarity. So I'm rotating my screen. You also have to so you can not, I think you don't have to rotate it because I have rotated it now. Okay, so this is what we are talking about. Okay, so here we can see the ARA C. Here we can see the ARA C. This ARA C is a regulatory gene, and this ARA C, if I say, this ARA C will code for it will code for a protein. It will code for a protein. And what was the name of that ARA-C protein? Called arabinose responsive regulatory protein. Okay, arabinose responsive regulatory protein. So you can see here. Okay, I have to do it one by one. So what it is written here? It is written here the structure of ARA-C monomer. Well, one subunit has been shown of this protein product. There is a DNA binding domain, and there is a arabinose binding site. This is the site of where arabinose will bind, and this arabinose, this ARA-C protein product is very sensitive to the level of arabinose. Okay, so this is the regulatory product of ARA-C. Okay, this is the regulatory product of ARA-C. Okay, so as you can see here, the arabinose binding site, the dimerization domain is there. Dimerization domain means what? Dimerization domain simply means it will form a dimer here. It will form a dimer at this site. Okay, so this is about the ARA-C protein product, which is a regulatory protein, which will act as an activator in presence of arabinose, and also it will act as a repressor in absence of arabinose in ARA operon. Let's see the structural genes. Right next to the ARA-C, there is a promoter. There is a promoter which is called ARA-O2. There is a ARA-O2. Okay, the ARA-O2 is not a promoter, but after the ARA-O2 there is the promoter region for the ARA-C. It is written here, promoter for ARA-C. Okay, so as you can see here, this just after ARA-C there is ARA-O2, and then right after ARA-O2 there is para-C, or you can see PC for promoter for the ARA-C gene, where transcription will occur in this direction from 5' to 3' direction. Okay, okay. Now ARA-O2 as written here, ARA-O2 is what actually? Well, you know about O region. O is the operator. So here ARA-O2 is the operator region for the ARA-BAD genes. Again I repeat, ARA-O2 is the operator region for the ARA-BAD genes. ARA O2. The total name is ARA O2. This is the operator regions for the ARA BAD genes. There is also one more operator region, that is this ARA O1. ARA O1. ARA O1 is the operator for the region of ARA C. So this is ARA O2 is the operator for ARA BAD, while ARA O1 is the operator for the ARA C gene. So O2 and O1 both are the operators, and O2 is the operator for the ARA BAD gene, and O1 is the operator for the ARA C gene. I think you have got that what I have said. Now this one just after ARA O1 is CAP. This is the binding site for the catabolite gene activator protein. The CAP complex will come in here and bind. Then comes the ARA I1 and ARA I2. ARA I1 and ARA I2. Now ARA I1 and ARA I2 are what? ARA I1 and ARA I2 are initiator regions. So these are actually initiator regions. These regions are initiator regions. These are the initiator regions. Okay. Next comes parabad. Parabad. Parabad is what? Parabad is the promoter for the ARA B, ARA A, ARA D genes. So parabad is the promoter for the ARA B, ARA A and ARA D genes. So this is the promoter for these genes. While we have said here that while we have said that this para C is the promoter for the ARA C genes, transcription occur here from here to here. I have said the opposite transcription occurs. While here you can see the para BAD, you can see the para BAD. Para BAD is the promoter for the these three genes, structural genes, ARA B, ARA A, ARA D. Okay, and ARA B, what does it encode? It encodes an enzyme having a ribokinase activity, ribokinase activity. ARA A, they encode an enzyme which has a isomerase activity, and ARA D encodes an enzyme which has a epimerase activity. Okay, I think you have get that idea of all these structural genes. So I am just revising here. So from the 3' end you can see there is a ARA C. There is ARA C. ARA C codes for a regulatory protein, and the name of the regulatory protein is arabinose responsive regulatory protein. And this is what the structure looks like. As I have just mentioned, it has two sites. One is DNA binding sites, and there is a arabinose binding site. There is also a dimerization domain where it dimerizes the arabinose C operon protein product dimerize. Okay. Then right next to ARA C there is ARA O2. Well, ARA O2 is the operator region for the ARA BAD genes. Okay, don't confuse. Then comes the para C, which is the promoter for the ARA C gene. From here, RNA polymers will bind and carry out the transcription process from 5' to 3'. Then comes the ARA O1. ARA O1 is the operator region for the ARA C. It is the operator region for ARA C. Then comes CAP. This is the catabolite activator protein binding site. Here CAP complex will come and bind. Then comes the initiator region, ARA I1 and ARA I2. Okay. Then comes the promoter region for the ARA-BAD genes. So these are the promoter region for the ARA-BAD genes. From here, the RNA polymers will bind and carry out the transcription process. Okay, then comes the ARA-B, ARA-A, and ARA-D genes. ARA-B encodes an enzyme for ribonucleokinase. ARA-A encodes the enzyme having an isomerase activity, while ARA-D have a enzyme encodes the enzyme which has a epimerase activity. Now on the bottom, I have shown you the reactions which take place during utilization of arabinose. So it is written intracellular, means within the cell. Within the cell, if L-arabinose is present, then what happen? Then it is saying there is an enzyme called isomerase, or full name is L-arabinose isomerase, encoded by the ARA-A gene product, which convert this L-arabinose into L-ribulose. So the L-arabinose isomerase, which is the enzyme product encoded by the ARA-A gene, this enzyme L-arabinose isomerase convert this intracellular L-arabinose to form L-ribulose. Now this is reversible. That means they can again convert from ribulose to L-arabinose as well by a different enzyme, obviously. Next, from L-ribulose, it convert into L-ribulose 5-phosphate. Now this is done by a different enzyme. Well, phosphate group is added by some kinase enzyme. Definitely some kinase can act phosphate, and that is done by the product of ARA-B, because I have said that ARA-B encodes a enzyme that have ribonucleokinase activity. So the product of ARA-B called L-ribonucleokinase. This enzyme catalyzes the conversion of L-ribulose into L-ribulose 5-phosphate, and this L-ribonucleokinase is the product of ARA-B gene. Let's come to ARA-D. Well, ARA-D have an epimerase activity, and it converts this L-ribulose 5-phosphate into D-xylulose 5-phosphate, which is an intermediate of your pentose phosphate pathway. And for conversion of this to this, we need an enzyme coded by the ARA-D gene. The name of the enzyme is L-ribulose 5-phosphate 4 epimerase. L-ribulose 5-phosphate 4 epimerase. So this enzyme is needed for conversion of L-ribulose 5-phosphate into D-xylulose 5-phosphate. So this was all about the enzymes. Let us again rotate my screen now. Okay. So okay. So more things are given here. Now I am going to show you the regulation of the ARA operon. Okay. So the first regulation is, sorry for that, first regulation is your negative regulation and positive regulation. This is what we have to study for the arabinose operon. Let us see. I have also mentioned that ARA-C also negatively autoregulates its own expression when the concentration of arabinose operon, when the concentration of ARA-C is too high, right? So first is negative regulation. If arabinose is absent, so when arabinose is absent, cell do not need ARA-BAD gene products for breaking down arabinose, because there is no arabinose. So why we need this ARA-BAD gene product to transcribe? So therefore, ARA-C form a dimer. Okay, it forms a dimer. I show only the monomeric unit of ARA-C. in the previous figure. Now this dimeric form of Ara-C acts as a repressor. Here you cannot able to see the whole word. So Ara-C here act as a repressor. It forms a dimer and acts as a repressor. Now the question is how Ara-C acts as a repressor if there is less, if there is no arabinose present. Let us see. One Ara-C monomer binds to the operator of the ARA-BAD gene known as ARA-O2. Again I repeat. So in absence of arabinose, what happened? In absence of arabinose, what happened? One Ara-C monomer, it binds to the operator of the ARA-BAD gene. Okay, so it binds to the ARA-BAD gene operator, which is known as ARA-O2, and another Ara-C monomer binds to the distant DNA half site known as ARA-I1. So ARA-C forms a dimer. As I have shown you that there is a dimerization site in each of the subunit of Ara-C product. So this Ara-C forms a dimer, and one of the monomeric units of the Ara-C binds to the ARA-O2, which are the which is the operator for the ARA-BAD, and another monomeric unit of the Ara-C binds to the ARA-I1. In the help of a figure, we can able to see. So you can see here, this is what Ara-C looks like. It forms a dimer here. It forms a dimer, one subunit, two subunit attached with the help of dimerization site found in Ara-C, and one of the monomeric units of Ara-C binds to the ARA-I1. Another monomeric unit of Ara-C binds to the ARA-O2. ARA-O2 is the operator. It is the operator for ARA-BAD. It is the operator for the ARA-BAD gene. What will happen if this type of dimerization occurs? Let's see. So it leads to a formation of a DNA loop, as you can see in the figure as I have just now shown you. And this orientation will block the RNA polymerase from binding to the ARA-BAD promoter. So as ARA-C have bind, the ARA-C dimer have bind to the ARA-I1, which is an initiator, and it also binds to the ARA-O2, which is the operator for the ARA-BAD genes, due to which what happened, it forms a loop like structure. A DNA loop like structure occurs, and this orientation will block the RNA polymerase from binding to the ARA-BAD promoter. So by this orientation, the RNA polymerase, you can see it forms a loop like structure. It forms a loop like structure like this, and due to the binding of this dimer of Ara-C with the ARA-O2 and ARA-I1, due to which what happened, the RNA polymer is unable to bind with the promoter region of the ARA-BAD gene. Okay, so this orientation blocks the ARA-BAD gene to transcribe. Okay, it actually prevents the RNA polymerase to bind to this promoter of ARA-BAD, and therefore the transcription of the structural gene of ARA-BAD is inhibited. So no transcription occurs. So how will be this product occur? So this occur in absence of arabinose. So what happened? You can see that when arabinose is absent, cells don't need these ARA-BAD genes to be transcribed. We don't need these ARA-BAD gene products. For that, the dimer ARA-C, they bind to the ARA-O2, which is the operator for the ARA-BAD, and it also bind, and also this same ARA-C dimer binds to the ARA-I1, which is an initiator, due to which what happen, a loop-like structure occurs. Now, this DNA loop will prevent the RNA polymerase from binding to the promoter region of the ARA-BAD. Again, I repeat, this DNA loop, if you can able to see, this DNA loop will prevent the RNA polymerase from binding to the promoter of ARA-BAD, and thus transcription of this ARA-BAD genes is inhibited. Okay, let's see the positive regulation. In case of positive regulation, what happened? Expression of the ARA-BAD gene operon is activated by the absence of glucose and presence of arabinose. So, if there is absence of glucose and there is presence of arabinose sugar, then expression of the ARA-BAD operon are activated. Okay, when arabinose is present, ARA-C and catabolite activator protein work together and function as activator. So when arabinose is present, both ARA-C, which is a regulatory protein, and the catabolite activator protein work together and function as activator. How they act as activator, let us see. I have said that this ARA-C dimer, ARA-C forms a dimer, and each ARA-C have a arabinose binding site. Remember, each ARA-C have a arabinose binding site. Although I am showing a picture inverted, but if you see the figure carefully, you see the ARA-C product, the monomeric unit of ARA-C, it has a arabinose binding domain. Look, there is a arabinose binding domain, and there is also a dimerization domain which forms a dimer. And this dimer is actually causing this regulation. So within this arabinose binding domain, the arabinose will bind. Right? Right? So what it is saying, excess arabinose causes them to bind with the ARA-C dimer region. So both ARA-C, so the ARA-C is a dimer. Although I have shown you only one monomeric unit, but it is a dimer made up of two similar subunits having a binding site for the arabinose. So excess arabinose causes that arabinose sugar to bind with the ARA-C dimer region. Now, thus ARA-C dimer undergoes a conformational change. Does ARA-C dimer undergoes a structural change when arabinose bind? So, as arabinose bind to the ARA-C dimer, structural change occur, and as a result, ARA-C arabinose complex falls off from the ARA-O2 and breaks that DNA loop like structure. So, the DNA loop that occurs right here, you can see here what happened here. There is a binding site for the ARA-C. There is a binding site for the ARA-C right here if I show you, and that binding site is for the arabinose to bind. This is the binding site for the arabinose, and when arabinose bind to this site, what happened? When arabinose bind to this site, what happened? This arabinose, this ARA-C arabinose complex will fall off from this region. It will fall off from this ARA-O2 and it will break that DNA loop. So no more DNA loop will occur. Okay. So just because of ARA-C, just because of recruitment of the arabinose to this binding site of a binding site of Ara-C causes a structural change in the Ara-C, and that's why what happened, they fall off from this region, and thus the DNA loop structure breaks off. Okay, now Ara-C arabinose complex then bind to the areas of Ara I1 and Ara I2 in presence of arabinose. So if there is arabinose present, then this Ara-C, what it does, it binds to this I1 and I2 region. So as you can see in this image, as you can see in this image, look at this image, you can see that arabinose has been attached in the form of triangle. I have shown you it attached with the Ara-C. So these blue ones, the light blue ones, are your Ara-C. These are your Ara-C dimer. These are your Ara-C dimer, where the arabinose shown in deep blue, look at this, shown in deep blue, has been placed, and due to which structural change occur, and due to which this Ara-C dimer, this Ara-C dimer gets off from that Ara O1 and Ara I1, and it binds to this I1 and I2 region. It binds to this I1 and I2 region. Okay, which are the initiator region. So binding of Ara-C to the Ara I1 and I2 allosterically induced by arabinose. So you can see that arabinose is inducing the binding of Ara-C to to I1 and I2 region. Okay, so you can see that this they bind to the I1 and I2 region close to the promoter of the Ara bed, and in this configuration it allows the RNA polymerase to bind to the promoter which of the Ara BAD gene and initiate the transcription of Ara BAD gene. So simple thing, excess arabinose causes binding with the Ara-C dimer. When Ara-C dimer binds with the arabinose, some structural change occur, and thus this dimer gets off from the area of Ara O2 and breaks that DNA loop that I have shown you during negative regulation. And then where it binds, this same arabinose Ara C complex binds to where? It binds to this region of initiator I1 and I2. And then it allows the RNA polymerase to bind to the promoter region for the Ara BAD structural genes and carry out the transcription process. So in presence of arabinose, Ara C is acting as a activator. So it is acting as an activator in presence of arabinose. And Ara-C, again I'm repeating, actually I'm trying to recite you easily. So in the presence of arabinose, Ara-C is acting as an activator, and Ara-C then undergoes conformational change when arabinose bind to where? Bind to the site of Ara-C where arabinose bind. As a result, what happened? This Ara-C arabinose complex falls off from the Ara O2. Remember the Ara O2? Remember that Ara O2? This region is the Ara O2. So it falls off from the Ara O2. It falls off, and where it binds? It then binds to the Ara I1 and Ara I2. It then binds to the Ara I1 and Ara I2. Thus the DNA loop falls off, the DNA loop breaks. Okay, and then it allows recruits the RNA polymerase to bind and initiate the transcription process. Okay, okay, so in this way your whole arabinose operon works. The whole arabinose operon works in this way, by positive regulation and by negative regulation, right? And I have also said that one of the arabinose monomers bind to the Ara I1, and the remaining arabinose and arabinose ara C binds to the ara I2, right, which will help by the RNA polymerase to bind to the promoter of ARA-BAD and carries out the transcription of ARA-BAD genes. Well, I have not discussed about this CAP-CAMP complex. So this CAP-CAMP complex also acts as an activator only in the absence of E. coli's preferred sugar glucose. So if there is glucose present, then this CAP-CAMP complex will not form, because as said in the lac operon, I have already said that in the presence of glucose, glucose inhibit the adenylyl cyclase activity, which actually prepare cyclic AMP from the ATP, from the AMP, you can say. And if cyclic AMP not forms, then this CAP-CAMP complex or catabolite activated protein cyclic AMP complex will not form. So that's why when glucose is absent, high level of CAP-CAMP complex bind to this catabolite activator protein site. So if there is excess glucose, this complex will form and it binds to the catabolite activator protein site, and binding of the CAP-CAMP complex to this CAP binding site, it opens up the DNA loop again. So it will open up the DNA loop. So not only not only arabinose bind to the dimer subunits of the ARA-C can cause breakage of the DNA loop, but also they will also causes breakage of the DNA loop just by binding of the CAP-CAMP complex to the CAP binding site. So if the CAP-CAMP complex bind to this CAP binding site, automatically the DNA loop structure will break off. So in two ways, activation of the ARA-BAD genes can be done. Okay, so it will also promote the RNA polymerase to bind to the ARA-BAD promoter to switch on expression of the ARA-BAD required for metabolizing the L-arabinose. Now I have also said that ARA-C also regulates itself, auto-regulation of ARA-C, I will say. So you can see here the positive regulation can be done by CAP-CAMP complex, also by the arabinose. You can say together, you can say ARA-A arabinose complex. Okay. Okay. So let us see the last part, the auto-regulation of the ARA-C. This is the diagram of auto-regulation of the ARA-C. What it says, let us see. It is saying that the expression of the ARA-C is negatively regulated by its own protein product called ARA-C. The protein product of ARA-C is negatively regulate itself. What happen if excess ARA-C protein product occurs? If excess ARA-C protein product occurs, that excess ARA-C protein product bind to the operator region for the ARA-C gene. If there is excess protein product of the ARA-C, this protein product of ARA-C binds to the operator region for the ARA-C gene, and that operator name is ARA-O1. So ARA-O1 is the operator. It is the operator. I have written here. Okay, I have written here. It is the operator for the ARA-C gene. Here excess ARA-C protein product binds. Excess ARA-C protein product binds. So the ARA-C dimer binds to the ARA-O1, which is the operator region for the ARA-C gene at high ARA-C labels that will immediately blocks the transcription of the it will immediately blocks the transcription of those genes needed for the ARA-C protein product. So if there is excess ARA-C, then the dimer of ARA-C binds to the operator of the ARA-C gene, and then it blocks the promoter region so that RNA polymerase cannot transcribe this ARA-C gene. So it is regulating its own expression at high concentration. Simple thing, right? So at three regions, this ARA-C binds. In absence of arabinose, this ARA-C dimer binds to the ARA-I1 and ARA-O2 So it binds to the ARA-I1 and ARA-O2 in absence of arabinose, and thus it forms a loop-like structure. DNA bending occurs. Okay, DNA bending occurs. So the DNA loop occurs and inhibits the RNA polymerase for the expression of the ARA-BAD genes. But in presence of arabinose, what happened? In presence of arabinose, this arabinose bind to the arabinose binding site of the ARA-C dimer, and then this ARA-C dimer falls off from the ARA-O2. It falls off from this ARA-O2, and then it binds to the I1 and I2 region. Remember that diagram? It binds to the I1 and I2 region, where it allows the RNA polymerase to bind to the para or promoter of the BAD genes and carry out the transcription. In the third step, you can see if there is high level of ARA-C product, then this high dimer of ARA-C product binds to the ARA-O1, which is the operator for the ARA-C gene, and thereby it blocks the promoter region so that RNA polymerase cannot transcribe this ARA-C gene. Okay, so in this way, your positive negative regulation can be done. Okay, but what is the use of this ARA operon system? Well, L-arabinose operon, as written here, this L-arabinose operon has been a focus of research in molecular biology and has been investigated extensively at its genetic, biochemical, physiological, and biotechnical levels. So it is a very well method way to understand about the molecular mechanism of regulation by the prokaryotes. L-arabinose operon has been commonly used in protein expression system. Okay, as the ARA-BAD promoter can be used for producing targeted expression under tight regulation. So it is targeting. So with the help of this operon system, it can be used for targeted expression, what we want to express. That's the thing of genetic engineering. In we want to express our own gene product and to suppress the other genes. So in this way, in particular tissue actually, so by the help of this arabinose operon, in future we can use them for producing targeting expression under under tight regulation. Okay, so like for example, if we can fuse the ARA-BAD promoter to a gene of interest. Okay, if we can fuse the ARA-BAD promoter to a gene of interest, then expression of the target gene automatically be regulated by the level of arabinose, right? So just like this. So suppose, okay, I have to show you here. So here we can see this is the negative regulation. So if we can able to introduce our gene of interest into this site, Then when positive regulation occurs, means in presence of arabinos, obviously the RNA polymers will bind and carry out the transcription. So automatically we will able to replicate our target DNA. Okay, so in this way, this is the importance of this arabinose operon, which is very beneficial for the genetic engineering experiments and also in medical technology experiments also. So that's all for today's lecture. I hope you have understood this lecture. If you have any doubts regarding this lecture, you can ask me in the WhatsApp group. Okay.